What's going on, guys? Failed to listen. Welcome back to more of Failed's Thoughts, and in this video, touching on a topic that I have touched on briefly before in other videos that were just completely unrelated to this, and that is that people feel that this is one of the worst generations, if not the worst generation that we've ever had. There's a lot of complaining, there's a lot of crying, a lot of whining, and I couldn't disagree more. I will have to respectfully disagree, but I couldn't disagree more. I mean, we don't get, it's not just content creators on YouTube, and what's crazy is like some of these guys have pretty big channels, and even some of those guys have complained, and I think it's an internal problem, something that they haven't realized just yet. And I think that problem is that at the very least, they've fallen out of love with video games and they just kind of like them now. Or in some cases, they don't like them anymore and they just haven't caught on to that fact, and they're, kind of trying to play anything or, force themselves to have interest in all of these different games, and they can't find anything that really suits their wants or their needs, and then they just complain about it. Like I said, there is a lot of complaining, and it's crazy, man, because and I've been guilty of this too. Not really saying that this is the worst generation or anything, but definitely the complaining and the whining. And these developers are trying so hard. And it's no secret I haven't had the nicest things to say about Horizon Zero Dawn. I think that game does not look interesting to me at all. It is a very beautiful game, but the gameplay, from what I've seen, it's just I don't know if it's there for me. But the problem is this, right? And again, goes to show you that even I'm guilty of this. These guys are trying so hard to make the best games possible. Don't get me wrong, right? There's asshole developers out there that are just trying to make a quick buck or trying to do what everyone else is trying to do and putting their own little spin on it. I don't want to get into the Ark Survival Evolved developer. We already know, most of us already know what kind of scum we're dealing with when it comes to those people. But our 7 Days to Die, that's another game. Give me a break, man. Come on. Those games definitely deserve the crying and the whining and the complaining that they get. Games like that for sure. But some of these indie games and some of these AA and AAA games that are just, a lot of effort goes into them, and the developer just had a vision. Sometimes they execute it well and people buy it by the millions and it gets great reviews, and other times it'll get great reviews but no one buys it, or it'll get poor reviews and a lot of people buy it. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of the complaining. I think we need to chill out a little bit, and we definitely need to stop. Like, that's pretty hyperbolic to say that this is one of the worst, if not the worst generations. That's crazy. Now, it is my opinion, and I still need to do my top 5 or top 10 games so far this generation. We're kind of, at that midway point or a little beyond it, so I want to do that video. But when I think about games like Evil Within or Alien Isolation that just came 1 year after Xbox One and PlayStation 4 were released, those games, to me, at least for the genres that they're in, especially Alien Isolation, what a surprise, what a great game. That game is, those two games to me are a masterpiece, and for me, you know what I mean? Games like Dying Light, or I didn't play GTA 5 until this generation, the PC version that is the definitive version of that game. And let's face it, even the PS4 and Xbox One version's a huge improvement over the 360 and PS3, and I think they even have some content that those versions don't have. So, you could throw that game in the conversation. I just beat a game at, toward the end of last year, The Witcher 3. Incredible. The DLCs for that game, excuse me, the expansions, the Witcher crowd gets really offended when you say that it's DLC. The expansions to The Witcher 3, incredible. Some of the best that you can get outside the base game itself for any game ever. Maybe the best. I'd really have to sit down and think about it, but just the replay value and everything that a game like that game is a masterpiece. That game is, right now, is, as far as I'm concerned, this generation's Red Dead Redemption, and that's another game, Red Dead Redemption. While I played a lot of great games last generation, and even a couple of amazing ones, Red Dead Redemption, you know, probably the only masterpiece. You might be able to include BioShock in that conversation, possibly, maybe. But again, I do think that it's just more than saying that, and these people don't realize that they just don't really care much about video games anymore, and they need to hang it up, you know, get into other things. Maybe some of you guys have somewhat of a family now, maybe your own kids, or maybe a wife recently or something, and you're just, you haven't realized that this hobby doesn't interest you as much as it once did, and you either need to play less games or maybe just stop completely. I don't feel, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, I'm no expert, right? I'm just giving my opinion, respectfully disagreeing, but I don't feel like you guys enjoy video games much anymore. There's a lot of good stuff out there. These developers are trying hard, and we just complain too much. There's a lot of complaining going on, and you guys have no idea what it takes to develop these games and the time and the effort. Some of these guys don't see their families for, you know, weeks or months at a time, and we shit on them. You know what I mean? Calling this generation the worst, I mean, that's a slap in the face to pretty much every developer, like even some of your favorites, right? Valve, Naughty Dog, Rockstar, Blizzard, whoever it is. I mean, it's a slap in the face to everyone to say that this is one of the worst or the worst. It is. That's crazy. That is crazy talk, man. So that being said, that's my video. That's my take. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. Like, maybe this video helped you in some way, and maybe you realize now, like, hey, maybe I don't like video games as much as I used to. It's not that the games suck. I'm just not feeling them much anymore. And it doesn't, regardless of age. Like, you could be, you know, in your early 20s or early 30s or something, heading into 40 or 50. I mean, maybe it's that, man. Maybe it is. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the continued support. It's been great. Take it easy. Peace.